Alright, so what we want to do is we want to, like a global material parameter. So I guess what we're looking for is I can change dynamic material instance parameter in blueprint. However, let's say I have 1,000 instances of a grass patch blueprint and that wind speed direction is a material instance parameter. How do I change the global material parameter so it affects every grass patch? I imagine having a dynamic material instance for each one and parameters the same is quite wasteful. Alright, so look into material parameter collections. You can use a general parameter for a collection in your base material and change it at runtime via blueprints. Okay, so we want a material parameter collection. So it's materials, material parameter collections. Let's do test grass, I guess test subsurface material params. Alright, so we're going to have a subsurface weight. I guess subsurface color weight, and then we're going to have a subsurface color. Alright, the default value should be white. And this value should be subsurface color weight. Why don't we just put it 0.5? So we save that. You can use a general parameter for a collection in your base material and change it via runtime. Alright, so if we have a material, how do we add a material parameter? You can create them in the content browser to define parameters, then you can reference those parameters in blueprints and materials. How do we reference it? A collection parameter node? Okay, so here's a collection parameter node, and we can set it to a certain thing. So we have this parameter name none. Okay, so we can grab like the subsurface color out of this, and we can grab the subsurface color weight out of it. So it looks like this. And this is our subsurface color. Let's see, this should be a vector parameter. Alright, so I need to make a float 3 from this thing. Because they've got vector parameters and scalar parameters, but we don't have anything we can do. So I need to do a break out float 4 and do something like this. So this will let us set like global variables kind of for all of our different materials that use subsurface lighting in our scene. Alright, and then we can set these guys, hopefully, inside of our blueprint, and then we can change how our grass works without doing a bunch of crazy shenaniganry. Alright, so if we change our subsurface material parameters to 1, alright, and then it goes all green. If we set it to 0, it's all white. Can we do that at runtime? Alright, so I can set it to 0. Set it to 1. So I'll just go ahead and mess with this and set it manually. Yes, and then I could change the subsurface color to like blue or whatever color that I wanted in the sky. Well, that's definitely what I'm looking for, is that sort of control over the colors. We can have red grass. Yay. Alright, cool. So we can definitely save all this stuff. Now let's start messing with this at runtime. So if we got our skybox, we want access to this material. Do we just drag it in here, or basically what we should do? Can we not reference this thing inside of our component, this asset? Oh, yeah, okay, I'm just doing this wrong. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to grab our variable here, and this is going to be our material, global material parameters. And this is going to be set to a material parameters collection. Alright. Material instance, material interface, paper terrain. Wait, what? I can't actually access this thing? Alright, Kento, you make some awesome ramen. Material interface? Well, maybe... It's a material parameter collection. Alright, let's see. So let's see, let's just Google access material parameter collection from Blueprint. Alright, so it's material parameter collection, grab that, we can edit it. Alright, using this in materials. Yeah, okay, so we got that all set up. And we are able to grab that, see the material, double click it, update formula. The first things we need to do is make some material instances out of our material. For this we need to create 3 material instances based off. Alright, so I guess it's set scalar parameter value. So if we go to our skybox, we don't actually want this thing, we want like, and we can select an asset, test subsurface materials. Let's see if we can actually like subsurface color weight. Alright, so we can just set it that way, but I don't really like that. I like being able to, you know, define this a little bit more generically. To be like, you know, here's the collection of parameters that you should use. But I guess it doesn't really like that at all. Hello, Midsoft. I'm not really sure who you're talking to. I guess Morton Barnes is somebody in chat. Alright. Guys are just checking out the channel and talking to each other and not talking to me. I see how it is. Alright, so this is how we're able to set our scalar parameter values. So we've got our color weight. We want to do set vector parameter as well. And we can do the same thing there. Okay, so we can just set those straight up. We don't need any references to it. And it doesn't look like we can pull this off and get anything on it. Material parameter collection. Let's see if we can make a variable again. No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, that's I know. I was looking at it. Just some people missed typing the wrong chat sometimes. You never know. Anyway, thank you for your well wishes. We don't need luck though. We need lots of time and patience and frustration. Everything's a matter of time. So this is how we can mess with all this. I guess there's a reason, like this is not a blueprint type. The material parameter collection. Yeah, let's see if we can go to that. Is there a material parameter collection.h? Yeah. Okay, so let's see. There is a hide categories object, minimal API. So yeah, we are not able to. It's not a blueprint type, so we can't have an actual variable. The question is, should we just edit the engine so that we can? Or is there a reason that this is not a blueprint type? it is most likely that we don't really need to worry about it. So if Unreal has decided that this is not something that we need to reference, then it's probably better for us to not reference it in a strange way. So what we want to do here is we want to, our subsurface color should be something set. I'm trying to think, should I set this inside of the compute time of day function? I think yes. So, all right. Thank you for following, Midsoft. Now you can catch up on me yelling at myself and everyone else and being angry about everything all the time. Which I guess I'm not that angry today, but I could be. So is there a better way to mess with this? I mean, I could basically set my subsurface color and subsurface color weight, and then have these like set values just get called inside of like update our shader stuff, and I think I'll do that. So we're just going to have our set scalar parameter. Let's make another comment block here, and this will be subsurface lighting. Mastery of complainants, yes. And hopefully we eventually get, you know, those cool emotes with even more rage-inducing glory. Alright, so we want our... Let's grab these. So we're going to want two variables, and we're going to call this, make another variable here. It's going to be a float. It's going to be subsurface weight. And there's a float. We'll make another variable. We'll call this one subsurface color. And it should be a linear color, something like that. Yeah. Alright, the subsurface weight should be 1, and the subsurface color by default should be white. Alright, so let's snag both of those. And the reason I'd rather have like a collection, yeah, I guess this parameter name thing is going off the asset, so if you had some weird thing, you wouldn't get these names with kind of this type checking. And I can understand why they would have these global variables kind of be more type check in blueprints, because it'd be really easy to change this and then have your blueprints all break, because all the other things are like you're referencing a specific material, so why not just have it by string name? I guess this is just a parameter name, so if we had the collection and we could reference it, then wouldn't matter. Well, let's not just go edit the core engine code for no reason. Let's have a reason before we go do it. Alright, so we'll set our subsurface lighting parameters. Save that. Can't wait to see it. We'll see if it's any good. I don't know if it's going to show up super well or not. It's pretty simple. I didn't put much time into it, which means it'll probably be better than if I do actually put time into it. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Alright, so we're setting those things properly. So we need to go set the subsurface color and subsurface weight inside of our compute time of day functions. Alright, so during the day, we're going to want to grab our... Let's make a new category here. Let's call this subsurface. Alright, so we're going to set the weight here to during the day. the weight should be 1 or something like that. Which should be use your own color. And the subsurface color itself we'll set to white. So during the day it'll be like that. So as soon as it's nighttime, we're going to set our subsurface weight to 0. And our subsurface color should be the color of our nightlight. So that'll be our celestial light. And is there like a get color? Get color? Get light color. And we'll slot that in there. And we'll have it be like 0.2 or whatever. Yeah, just 0 just to start with. Alright, so we'll save that. So during dead of night and all that. Alright, our star brightness is going... Star brightness is set to star brightness. Our setting sun has our star brightness come in based on the percentage. So we got this transition time thing here. We want to do the same thing here. Our subsurface color should be getting set. Well, let's just, during twilight, subsurface color is going to get set to this. So let's just do that to start with. Alright, cool. And then we're going to be setting our subsurface weight. And we're going to be setting that based off of these things. So we're going to subsurface weight. This is going to go from 1 to 0. So we'll get our lerp float based on our percent. And let's hook that in. Alright, so that's going to continue to be 0 in early night. It's going to be, where are we setting the star value? Star brightness is still there, so there we are. Setting of the moon, star brightness is still going to be set, so we'll just keep setting this to 0. Early morning, alright. And this is where we actually turn off the stars, so we should do the same thing over here. So we're going to lerp from 0 to 1 based on the percent that we are finished, and that is this one right here. Okay, so now we should have our subsurface weights properly set up. So let's go ahead and save and compile that. So we should be able to just go ahead and change like our time of day here. So at night, It's all white grass. At noon, it's all like this. Alright, so let's see what happens here as we transition into nighttime. Some of it's messed up, but we can fix it. Yeah, and that's the sort of effect that I'm looking for. Alright, so we're going to take this guy here, this guy's got a material on him that we want to mess with. This masked subsurface sprite material. Yeah, we want to change this so that it actually uses the proper stuff. We want to grab these values. And here's this one. And we'll slot that right in there. So we'll get our subsurface all nicely multiplied out. And that'll control all of it. Nice shift from dusk to night. Yeah, it's getting closer to where we want. You know, some of the timing is all off and stuff like that, which really isn't a problem. Alright, so the subsurface lighting here at the middle of the day should mean this is green. And that at night it should be white. Oh yeah, that's the actual transition here is just total crap. The lights are all in the wrong spots and stuff like that. So let's see. Night rolls around and this is all white, which is what we want for the subsurface scattering on there. I mean, not subsurface scattering, but subsurface lighting. And same thing with all these objects in the back there. Why didn't we select all of them? Well, regardless. Let's change the materials. So I think we're going to want this mashlet sprite should be this subsurface sprite. And we'll see what it looks like at night now. It should be very much washed out white. Yeah, so now we've got our washed out white going on there. Well, our shaders will have that sort of focusing and adjusting brightness automatically in them based on the scene, so we don't have to reproduce that inside of our effects. That should just kind of happen automatically if we hook things up properly. That's the plan, at least. So let's see how it looks when it actually comes back to daytime. And that's the transition there to actual color. Yeah, and I think we're getting really close to having, our visual effects components put together, is what it looks like. Because there are things that are wrong, but like all the various pieces are there for a transition, except for like our god rays during the evening and stuff like that. Yeah, the blue hour, black hour. It's true. All right. Cool. So we're learning a lot of little things as well. So I'm going to be right back. Alright, yeah, so things are looking a lot nicer. Alright, so let's fix our sunset. So let's fix the transition here real quick. So let's fix in order, sunset, sunrise. Alright, so sunset. What do we need to fix? Alright, so the transition, I'll just pause it. The skylight needs to not go to 0. The other thing is, this grass, we probably want like a... I'll have to take a look at it and see what we can do with that. Alright, so the skylight color needs to change. And the other thing is, perhaps it's not the skylight. But the subsurface light color. Yeah, so if we fix that night color, it probably worked just fine. So why don't we try fixing just the sunset daytime. Okay, so sunset, the sky light intensity is Alright, so the sunlight intensity is 5, the skylight intensity is 10. And at night, we have night skylight at 3 and moon height. Yeah, okay. Do we have moonlight? Star brightness. Night skylight intensity. Alright, so we should be going to sunset. Night skylight intensity is like 3, right? Light 2, moonlight. Alright, so there's the moonlight should show up now. There it is, moonlight 4. Alright, so we should be able to change our day-night cycle. So 16, 17. Yeah, okay, so this is where things are messed up. So how are they messed up? The skylight intensity is at 0, and celestial light intensity is at 5. Okay, so we need to fix the skylight intensity. Alright, so it's the sunset daytime. Alright, so the light color actual sky color, we have the skylight and celestial light. So this is going to go from sunrise skylight to light. Light is getting set to sunrise skylight intensity. Oh, okay, here it is. And those are both at 0.2. Let's just change them both to 3. Alright, so the color is wrong here. Let's see, we're setting the skylight intensity, we have the moonlight, we have our night sky color is what we're moving towards. Night sky color. Our skylight is still at 3. Why is this now still all sorts of messed up? Like our skylight is the thing that's messing this all up? Does it have to do with we captured the sky at a specific point? Like, we basically want this to be a dynamic scene capture, is what's going on here. It has to do with this skylight with the SLS captured scene. Let's look it up real quick. Alright, so the skylight skips past all objects until the threshold to prevent foreground geometry from being rendered. So it may be that the sky distance threshold. So let's see, this is at 150,000. So maybe the test skybox with the skylight. Let's just put this to 0 real quick. Doesn't appear to be changing. Like, we would see orange everywhere if this was changing properly. Let's see, maybe we should up it to 200,000 or something. No, it's capturing the sky, that's for sure. Otherwise it wouldn't show up at all. It's just not recapturing the scene. So let's see, how do we get this to update? It looks like I guess we need a scene captured cube. And maybe that'll grab the sky color? No, it's not grabbing it. So let's see, I'm just reading some stuff. So I guess basically what's going on is I need a cube map or some sort of... I need a cube map render every frame in order to get the light properly for my scene? Question mark. So if we have a scene capture cube, and if we go to our test content here into our sky, like if I make a cube texture, let's see, is it materials and textures? We want a cube render target. So we'll have test sky render. So we'll get this rendered out every frame, and then our skylight can actually use our test sky render. I mean, that's our cube map that's getting rendered out. Hello, Pixelwing. I'm trying to figure out how to get my skylight to use, like, I want to render the scene for the skylight, but I'm trying to get it so it updates. This kind of artistic work? You mean trying to figure out what the hell's going on? That's not really artwork, it's kind of engineering work. Tech art stuff. You know, figuring out what the hell's going on and how you're supposed to do things is never simple. So this is our cube map that's getting updated every frame. It's really low res, so it's not going to be super stupid. But we also don't want it to... Like, it should only be grabbing our background. So like our scene capture cube shouldn't be grabbing anything except like... It's kind of ugly. Because we want it to grab the sky, but we don't want it to grab, like... We don't need it to grab the ground. We don't want to render anything except for the sky, right? Yeah, so we can have this get captured every frame like that. So how do we get our skylight to actually reference a specific cube map? So I guess maybe a texture that references this thing, perhaps? Like a... cube render target. This can be used as a target for rendering as well as rendering a regular cube texture resource.